Somebody call a doctor because bad medicine is back. That's the Appleton Oak. I'm Mason Quinn. Guys, tonight we are checking out the season finale. It's finally here of Rings of Power. This is episode 8 called Alloyed? Alloyed? I think it's Alloyed. I'm pretty sure. But either way, guys, this has been building. I know we talked earlier about how it was kind of a slow build, but these last 2-3 episodes have really been kind of amping up the storyline for us here. And are they going to get the Mithril to help them out? Is the queen in Numeros? God, I'm sorry if that's not pronounced right, but I think that's what it is.
Numenor.
Numenor, that's right. Numenor, thanks, Oak. Are they going to come back? What's going on with the orcs? We saw Mount Doom is going off. Mordor is literally being formed right before our eyes. So I got to know what's going to happen here on the final episode of Rings of Power.
I have to correct myself. It's Numenor. Numenor, not Numenor. The interesting thing about this show is that there's a lot of different storylines going on at the same time. I don't think it's too many to really keep track of, but it's borderline for me. It's like, okay, this is enough stories. We got Starfoot. We got stuff going on with the elves and the dwarves for the mining. We got the battle going on. In Middle Earth and like you said. Mordor being formed, so enough storylines to keep things interesting. If this is your first time watching, you have some experience with the books. I have no knowledge of. I know that they came from books. I haven't read any of the books, so I'm coming into this series and have come into this series just as I'm just going to try to enjoy what's put in front of me and not take into consideration any of the Tolkien works and what the timeline is and source material and all sorts of that stuff. But I'm really excited to get to the final episode. There's a really solid build up these last 2 episodes, so we'll find out. This is it, season 1 wrapping up.
It's going to be big, guys. Let's see how it is, and let's go.
There's our guy.
Yep, Starman himself. The one thing I'll say about all of the movies and shows that have been based off the Tolkien works is they really make you want to travel and see some of these places.
This is beautiful landscape. My parents went to Australia and New Zealand for a month, like a decade ago or something.
That'd be awesome.
And they took the full Lord of the Rings tour. They weren't even fans. They just were like, oh, this is what you do when you're here,
Easy.
Oh, don't lose your apple.
No.
It's not her. It's those. Yeah, they're shape-shifting.
Guys, if you've read the earlier works, drop a comment if you know who these guys are.
Sauron.
What?
What?
He's Sauron? Are you kidding me, guys? So he came down from the stars? I need more info.
Drop a comment below. If we've missed it, and I've said it about every episode, is this magnetic sand or all graphic artwork?
We got to keep it going now.
There's probably somebody commenting on each one that's like, you asshole. I've commented I would do our best to get through the comments. Yeah. It's hard to get through a few hundred sometimes.
I can't believe that Starman is Sauron. A lot of people had different speculations as to who they thought he might be. And then as far as who Sauron was, there was a lot of speculation there too. Some folks thought it was Halbrand who was Sauron. How him and Galadriel were fighting together.
Well, that makes sense why they teased it for so long.
Yeah.
Like, who is this guy?
Gilgalad arrives tomorrow, expecting to be presented with a means of saving all Elvendom.
Only there was some way of doing more with less.
An alloy. What if you took a little bit of mithril and mixed it with...
Elven steel or...
We're out of time, Celebrimbor.
Did that chunk of mithril create everything they have?
Galadriel?
These guys haven't seen each other forever.
We rode without rest. Can you help him?
Sure can. We got some amoxicillin and back.
Some Bactine.
Some Bactine, a little bit of Neosporin.
I was you here.
We've much to discuss.
Sure nicer than a hospital room setup, huh?
Yeah, no
Wow.
kidding. Yeah, if you're with the elves getting healed, you're in good hands.
I should have trusted you.
I leapt from that ship. I knew that somehow my task here was not yet complete. I did not cross that bitter ocean, only to drown now.
What are we to do?
It's got to be one of the first times Galadriel got choked up a little bit.
Yeah, the old look away, you know? That's all you can do is swim.
Who's there?
Is Galadriel here?
No.
What is this place?
Was the workshop of Celebrimbor.
He's not here, is he?
As a matter of fact, he is.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, look at that giant anvil.
Yeah.
The master I apprenticed to used to speak of the wonders of your craft. I never dreamed I'd ever get the chance to see them in person. These gemstones, I've never seen anything like them. What do you plan to use them for?
Feanors
The infinity glove.
of Valinor. I had hoped to do the same for Middle-earth.
This is a peculiar ore. What is it?
Not enough.
Enough for what?
He's going to tell him about how to alloy it.
Yep.
Couldn't the right alloy also amplify those qualities?
Oh.
I've seen a trace of nickel added to iron to make a blade lighter and stronger.
Told
so
you.
crazy, it just might work.
An intriguing suggestion.
You son of a bitch. It just might work. Look at that. And the light just goes on.
Ding.
Ding. To shave off a little.
Black flags will fill our harbor. In the coming days, each of you will be granted 1 hour with the king.
I know what you have been doing in the dark of night.
I'm sorry.
Young Miriel, if the old ways of our people are not soon restored, our island will fall.
It's been a rough week for kings on the Bad Medicine channel, mistaking people.
Come, you must go up, but don't do as I did. I cannot separate what is from what was.
Oh, is it one of those seeing stones? They have one? I feel like it's been forever.
What manner of object? A crown. A circular form, allowing the light to arc back upon itself in one unbroken round. Perilous are these whisperings.
Sometimes the perilous path is the only path. I would not be standing here otherwise.
You should not be standing here at all.
Well,
I sent you on a task.
Our time runs short. Yes, that is why. Shorter than you know. We are on the cusp of crafting a new kind of power. Not of the flesh, but over flesh.
I get the feeling they're talking about the ring.
This is a power of the unseen world. You are hereby commanded to disband the city. All of you.
He's going to disobey him. Watch.
Yeah, he's gonna. That was the look of, I'll keep them busy, you do what you gotta do.
Mm-hmm.
Power over flesh.
She's heard it before.
Where did you hear them?
I believe those are my words.
Was Halbrand with you?
What does it matter? It's over.
She's all about breaking rules.
Uh-huh.
Do it because I asked you.
It is a fool's hope, Elrond.
Hope is never mere. Or have you forgotten your own counsel?
All right, you got 3 months.
Let's see what you
Let's
can make.
roll. Okay, so the idea is to pulverize it first.
Yeah.
Look at those gears.
Oh, Halbrand's gonna be like a kid in a candy store with all this technology.
I've watched a lot of Forged in Fire, so I'm pretty familiar with what's happening here. Don't quench too early.
Yep. Galadriel looks concerned, though, doesn't she?
I need royal lineages. Anything you can find on the Southlands.
Thank you, Galadriel, for saving my life. Push me to heights that no one else could have. I will never forget that. And I'll see to it that no one else does either.
You're getting a weird vibe going on here.
Oh, a little bit of tension here between these two.
We have come here to bring you to our land, the land of Rune. For you, our Lord Sauron.
That was crazy how they were doing that effect with their voices on our headphones, kind of whipping around.
Yeah,
like
that was wild.
For now, bind him.
The Harfoots are coming to save him, though, aren't they?
I think they're gonna try to.
In the grand tradition of bad ideas, this might well be the worst yet.
Well, have you got a better notion?
The hell? They're tying him up to the logs? What the f...
Oh, that's not him. It's another shapeshifter.
Yep.
Run! Oh!
Oh, no.
That was pretty friggin' cool.
What's with the hate for the Harfoots?
Oh! That's very reminiscent reminiscent to the fight that Gandalf had
Jesus.
with Sauron. Whoa.
Oh, right in the foot.
Make him see.
Throwing rocks.
The old rock throw. Oh, hurts to get hit with a rock.
Yeah.
Care who you are.
Not so tough when you're getting hit by rocks. These guys are just torching everything.
Yeah, they like fire a lot, don't they?
We need you. Please just take it.
I will hurt you again.
You choose by what you do. You're here to help.
Well, not really.
No, I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you. He took that shot into the guts with that knife. Seems to be doing.
Was that rotating one? So it may have like gone in and caught. You know, it wouldn't penetrate like a regular knife would because it was almost like a boomerang.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awfully nice of him.
From shadow you came. To shadow I bid you return.
He is not Sauron. He is
I'm good.
They messed up.
Oh, well, there goes them.
Did he just turn them into ring wraiths?
I don't know what a ring wraith is, but they're not who they were.
Oh.
He just dissolved them.
Yeah.
Turned them into.
Now I have a bad feeling that some of our friends in the comments were right about Halbrand now.
Oh.
The way Galadriel was looking at him.
We'll find a way to carry you back.
I'm afraid I'm about to go a-wandering off trail. The missus will be waiting. Like to sit a while, watch the sun come up.
You telling me bro can't fix him up a little bit?
Can't do a little,
you know?
Oh, I can't believe they faked this out telling us he was Sauron. Then he wasn't.
My father once told me that the way of the faithful is committing to pay the price.
Sometimes the cost is dear.
Numenor is in sight.
Oh, it's not a secret anymore, apparently.
No.
I wonder what the point of covering up the eyes would be if there's not cosmetic damage.
Yeah.
To the eyes.
What do you see?
See a whole lot of ships.
They're ready to.
Wait, they got the black flags on them though.
Oh wait, what does that mean? I thought that meant that they were ready to go, like they were all joining her. Oh, it's because the king passed. I thought all the ships were there because they're like, all right, let's sail back.
That's what I
go.
thought too. Yeah.
What has happened?
It refuses every effort to bond it with lesser ore.
Oh, look at that.
Perhaps we've been pushing ourselves too hard.
Pushing ourselves too hard. Supposing we've been using too much force.
The metals shouldn't be forced to join, but more drawn or coaxed.
You just gotta finesse the metals a little bit.
Dismantle this. We start again.
My lady.
Oh, yeah. Those shots are.
They're doing it for a reason.
We're making two. It'll need to be something smaller.
Rings.
See for yourself.
Not until you tell me who you are.
Galadriel, I'm afraid I don't. I told you I found this on a dead man.
Tell me your name.
I have had many names.
Is she back where she was as a kid? Yeah, back by the river with the boat.
Lose your footing again, sister.
On your feet now.
Get out.
My old dagger. You've kept it safe all this time. My task was to ensure peace. That was Sauron's task as well.
Oh, what's going on?
Do you remember what I whispered to you under this very tree? Touch the darkness once more.
He's trying to recruit her.
I don't think that's what he said to her under that tree, isn't it?
I don't. Doesn't sound like something he'd say.
No.
My brother is dead.
Galadriel.
Look at me! When Morgoth was defeated, it was as if a clenched fist had released its grasp from my neck. I told you that I had done evil, and you did not care, because you knew that our past meant nothing.
She did say that. Oh, showing her what could be.
You would make me a tyrant.
I would make you a queen. You bind me to the light, and I bind you to power. Together, can save this Middle Earth.
Oh,
Maybe a little both. There you go. I see no difference.
Because you remember in the Peter Jackson movies, we got the little glimpse of her with the ring.
Galadriel, stop. Elrond. It's Elrond.
Well, I gotta tell you something.
It'll almost be finished by now.
Galadriel.
Oh, he's gonna have the rings.
He's gonna have the rings.
Oh, this is getting good.
We must make 3. 1 will always corrupt, 2 will divide.
With 3, there is balance.
Powers we forge today must be for the elves alone.
Now, in the original stories, they made a lot more rings. There's like 9 humans or the dwarves, and then the elves got 3, and I don't remember exactly.
I need gold and silver of the most exquisite quality. True creation requires sacrifice.
They called you something else. Istad.
In your tongue, that means wise one or wizard.
Knew it! We said that in the
wizard.
first episode, didn't we? Or second, whenever he showed up. It's like, this guy's got to be a wizard.
I think I've had about as much adventure as any Harfoot could ever hope for.
Well, we got some news for you.
Can you do us a solid and a regrow just a few of those apples, maybe?
Go on, you're part of something bigger now.
And you belong out there.
Interesting to see the nature in which they've fashioned a backpack, isn't it?
Yeah.
Goodbye, Lori.
Here you're heading in the big beyond, and I haven't taught you a blooming thing.
Sure you have.
Sure, a lot of fathers out there can relate to that.
Yeah, like you hope that, you know, the good things that you've tried to impress on your child stick, but you wonder.
Oh, go on before you lose your nerve.
Just go off with the dude who fell out of the sky who just learned to talk a day ago.
You promised to look after everyone. Of course I will, Anklehead.
Anklehead? You anklehead?
So close to that tall fella.
Have fun storming the castle.
Have fun storming the castle.
Well, they're all waving at you.
If I turn around, I won't ever be able to leave.
There it is.
Are you sure?
Not entirely. There's a sweet smell on the air this way. When in doubt, always follow your nose.
So if somebody's just baking bread or something. Yeah.
Lambus bread. We're still not seeing the creation of the main ring yet because, as we all know, that was made in Mount Doom. So I got a feeling that Halbrand or Sauron is headed there to make his own.
Oh, did he possibly steal some mithril?
Or, well, he knows where to get it. Okay, stand back. I don't know what's going to happen here. Does that look like an eye to you?
It certainly does.
Here we go, the big reveal.
Wait, those aren't rings.
Those aren't rings. Oh, they still got to work today. I was like, where are they?
Wait a minute. What?
Oh, they keep stringing us along. There's the Infinity Stone jewels there. Infinity Gauntlet.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, I was going to tell you about that. Sorry I left that
Yeah,
out.
so I've been meaning to let you know something that might be of interest to you.
Oh, look at that place.
For the Elven-kings under the sky.
There it is. That is Zassi. 7 for the dwarves. So there it was. That was the final episode of the first season of Rings of Power. And they had me hooked in the beginning when they said our good pal, the wizard, was Sauron. I thought it was the biggest, hook. I thought they got me. And I know a lot of you guys were speculating, or maybe you knew from the source material, but everybody was real respectful in the comments. I don't recall hardly any spoilers in the hundreds of comments that we've had through this whole series of 8 that we've done. So big shout out to you guys and thanks for that. But indeed, Halbrand was Sauron all along, and in an amazing twist, Galadriel fell for it. Now, they did make their rings, so we'll see how that shakes out for the next seasons. We have Istar and Nori making their journey to Ruin. God, I'm sure I'm butchering the names here, but so they're going there. So now, I mean, things are in place now. I don't know when the second season is going to be released, but I would like to think that, the way they kind of brought together this last episode, it might have piqued people's interest who maybe bailed a little bit earlier after the first couple of episodes. And it turns out all along that the Appleton Oak was right when he said, we're going to go nice and slow for the first couple, and then in the end, everybody will be talking about it, hopefully, and then we'll hook them again. So, just to kind of put a bow on my kind of thoughts with the whole series here, it was enjoyable and I had a good time. It's always a pleasure to get a little more Tolkien, even if it isn't, everybody knows if it's not perfect to the source material and that sort of thing, and everybody might have some gripes about that, but at the end of the day, it's more Tolkien, and I guess I'm happy with it.
Yeah, this episode was just okay for me.
You kind of knew
if I have to explain in the shortest of terms, which, as you know, is not my forte. It's like they weren't wrapping up this season; they were just like setting up next season. It didn't feel like this grand finale. I know they had the scene,
big reveal. They
had the reveal who Sauron was, and then they ended it with him looking over Mount Doom, and there you have the 3 rings. So I just didn't feel like it was this giant climax from the first, the first season saying, we got you for next year. Are we going to watch next season? Yes. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I mean, it's not perfect by any means.
It's just, like I said, it was like, and then up. And then I feel like and I get they had storytelling to do, and I think the people who are going to jump in the comments and critique my saying this wasn't the ending I was hoping for are going to kind of say, okay, they had to set up for next season somehow, and they had to do some storytelling somehow, which is what I feel like they were doing here. Again, I've said it earlier. I said it in previous episodes. I know nothing of the source material. I'm aware that Tolkien wrote a lot of material, and my brother had educated me on the fact. If this is the first episode you're watching, I have 2 older brothers who are both very much into Lord of the Rings and Tolkien, and then my middle brother is hardcore. And to just summarize it, he wasn't very happy with the mashing and messing with the original timelines. He made me aware before we started. There's people who just 3,000 years apart. They just put them together in the storyline. From what I understand, there's a few characters who maybe weren't in the books that were created. But look, you have to make a TV show out of it, right? So it's like, if this guy did have thousands, that's the one thing I said. Thousands of years and hundreds of characters. It's like you still have to make a show out of that.
Yeah.
Look, you're not gonna. It's not The Simpsons. You're not running this thing for 25 years, So it's like at some point you have to pick either the material that you're going to use or take a bunch of them. We'll use it all, just condense it a little bit. I understand where he's coming from. Look, if there's timelines where it's thousands of years ago and this character existed today, and you're going to somehow mash them into stories, I don't think that's fair. It's like we're gonna have time jumps. We're gonna have Genghis Khan fighting in World War II. It's like he's a historical character, and World War II happened, and he was a badass. So we're just gonna have this World War II movie with Genghis Khan. He's making his way over from Mongolia. I understand that the purists do have some issues with the timeline. Again, just to kind of reiterate my point, I don't come in with any sort of bias from that. It's just the entertainment that's laid out in front of me, and the storyline, and what I know from watching the 3 Lord of the Rings movies and the Hobbits movies, the Hobbit movies rather. But again, for me, I get, they were tying up some loose ends from the first season. Who is the Starman? Who Halbrand really is, things like that. How, the rings were made with the mithril and the alloys and things like that. But it just wasn't like this climatic,
like a big
ending.
Oh my gosh moment.
Yeah, I can't wait. Like I said, I think their moment was showing of the rings, beautiful rings, by the way, and like their like holy shit scene was like Sauron looking at Mount Doom and the lightning and the thunder and the smoke, and that was cool, but it wasn't quite the ending I was hoping for. Look, the reality is, whether you liked it or hated it or loved it or not, when they come out with season 2, everybody who's watching is like, all right, I guess we're watching season 2 now.
Yeah,
Look,
well, and it's such a fine line you have to walk, because like you said, there's so much source material. They have to make a TV show out of it, and you have to make some concessions, right? Because there's a lot of people out there who really love the Peter Jackson movies and the Hobbit movies, but know nothing of the source material. So you've got to kind of sprinkle in enough stuff to draw them in and keep them interested, while at the same time drawing from the original material that was out there that predates, Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, and kind of bring that together and to kind of help people understand. I mean, it is a fine line you have to walk for sure.
One thing I'll be very curious to see now that this season is wrapped is I'll be very curious to see numbers, and I'm sure we're gonna see numbers, how many hours were streamed and things like that, because I had said from the beginning kind of what I just said now, that I think your purists are still going to watch it so they have something to complain about. The new people that maybe have seen Lord of the Rings and the Hobbits, the newer people might jump in. I don't know that this show grabs new audiences though.
Yeah, I don't.
If I'm being completely honest, if I've never watched, and I know, look, it's not a fair comparison for Game of Thrones. If I never watched any of the original Game of Thrones and I just jumped into House of the Dragon, I'm hooked.
Yeah.
Right? Like, holy shit, this is awesome. Having no source material and not having watched any of the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit movies, if I just jump in and this is my first, kind of experience with Middle-earth, it's not at the top of my list of things.
No, I mean, I guess I would look at it in a way that, like a show like Yellowstone or 1883, there's people I know who watched one episode of that and they were completely hooked, and now they won't stop talking about it. Like, oh, you gotta watch it. And well, I got family members who are the same way. So I guess when I think about a show of that level of success, that's what I compare it to. Or like the first couple episodes of The Walking Dead, that grabbed everybody and would not let them go. And that was just on a whole nother level. So I think, was it entertaining? Was it a good time? It had its slow points, but overall, more Tolkien, more Middle-earth for us. But it's definitely, let's not get it confused here. It's not Walking Dead. It's not Breaking Bad. It's not Yellowstone. It's not, Game of Thrones or anything like that. So I agree with you. I think it's a bit of a hard sell to get your mainstream casual fan.
Yeah, I just don't know that this is something that grabs new audiences. Look, and I'm getting my Amazon boxes wrapped in Lord of the Rings. We just saw our first van trucks, that was wrapped with Rings of Power stuff. So they're trying to push it to new audiences, but I just don't know if it's there. I work in social media and in digital media and marketing. And anybody who, you don't have to even work in that. It doesn't have to be your profession to kind of know, like, you have seconds to grab people's attention. If you're posting a video on YouTube or content you're making for Instagram or TikTok, you've got 2 seconds to grab somebody's attention before they move on. And I feel like for people, in today's day and age who are looking for more instant gratification with their TV shows and things like this, if they made it all the way through this season, that's a big commitment anyhow. Mm-hmm. I don't know that that newer fans made it through episodes like 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Right. But
call.
even for the newer fans who did make it through episodes 3 and 4 and kind of got on that buildup, I just don't know that this is like the ending that's gonna rope me back in for the second season. Like I said, that I think the hardcore fans and the people who enjoyed Lord of the Rings will probably come back and watch it just because like we're always looking for something to watch. They'll hype the next season. They'll do some trailers that show some incredible visuals and leave some teasers enough to draw us in. But as far as like overall job on this season, I enjoyed a few of the episodes. I get, some people are like, hey, look, it's a 5-season thing. They're telling the stories. I get that this season was kind of building a foundation, but I don't know that I loved it, and we're at the time of recording, we're as many episodes in, and I'm just going to throw the comparison out. We're as many episodes in, basically in House of the Dragon as we are Rings of Power. And it's from an entertainment standpoint. You can't even compare the two.
They're really
It's not even close. House of the Dragon is just vastly more entertaining. Now I understand it's not a fair comparison because, look, House of the Dragon and the entire Game of Thrones franchise is able to use adult type material and storylines that you're just not going to use in look.
Tolkien's
I mean, we call it partying and partying and there's also feet partying. Look, and that's not stuff they can throw in. The level, the graphic nature of a lot of the things that they show is not stuff they're going to show in Rings of Power. So I know it's not a fair comparison. It's almost like saying like we're going to release an action movie and the R-rated action movie has to go up against like a PG action movie.
Yeah,
it's like which one are you going to go see?
Yeah, that's fair.
But I just like my final thoughts for this season was I was entertained at times. But my kind of overall feeling is I was just kind of left wanting more, and that's kind of the vibe I get at this last one. Look, am I going to come back and watch the next ones? Yes. Is it going to be? Look, if we do it for the channel, then we're here for it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, but I don't know that this is something where on a Saturday where it's rainy and I don't have any housework to do that I'm going to sit down and binge this one. This is like I've got a 6-hour flight somewhere or an 8-hour flight.
And that's fair. I mean, people's time is valuable these days. And as you know, there's so many different media outlets that are competing for people's time and their attention. And there's only 24 hours in a day, and most people sleep 6 to 8 of them. And then you have to work, so I mean, people's time is really valuable. And in terms of what you're going to choose to watch, or be with you and your family and friends, and do hobbies and things like that, there's not a lot of hours in the day. So I kind of echo Oak's comments in that, for as big as a Lord of the Rings fan and Hobbit fan that I am, if I'm not doing this for the channel, guys, I really don't know if I have the time to do this one.
I'm trying to think of obviously anytime you go back to these types of stories, they're unique in their own right, but you can kind of put them in a genre like old, like medieval times, or like fantasy. And I'm thinking the shows that I've seen on Netflix, Witcher. I'll take Witcher over this every time, and Henry Cavill. The old show The Last Kingdom, about the Vikings and the Christians and and Danes. That Last Kingdom had probably a tenth of the budget that this had, and I will say, for me, the show The Last Kingdom, and drop a comment below if you guys have seen that, for me, the show The Last Kingdom like blows this out of the water. And I mean, I don't think it's even close. And so when I'm comparing other type shows, and of course people are gonna be like, well, Last Kingdom is based on historical stuff, there's no fantasy, there's no that.
It's like, okay,
but it's old medieval battles, swords and stuff like that. And I guess my point is that with as much, if you're into like this general genre, there's so many other programs out there that the bottom line is they're just going to be more entertaining than this was. And I think, we said it about the early episodes. Oh, they need to pull you in. I think the fact that they've said there's going to be 5 seasons is going to be their saving grace, because I think people will give look, I'm going to give, regardless of what I think about it, I'm going to give season 2 a try. But man, if they don't just crush it on season 2, it's like it gets put pretty far on the back burner for season 3.
I never like the idea of getting homework assignments for TV shows.
And that's a really good analogy. Like, I'm sure like it'll be 4 years from now, people will be like, did you catch season 3? Like, it's on my list.
I'll get to it.
And man, for such an epic story, and just and look, you can have a big budget for special effects and big name actors and all that stuff, but like at the end of the day, you still have to have good source material. I mean, there's movies that we've seen with very, very small budgets that have really roped people in from their story, and there's movies that we've seen with just massive budgets that have completely shit the bed. And I'm not going to say they shit the bed with this, but they left a lot to be desired. So am I going to watch season 2? Absolutely. Am I probably going to watch it all the way through? Yes, but like you said, you really put it best. Right now, season 2 feels like a homework assignment.
Yep.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Well, guys, like I said, drop a comment below on your thoughts of kind of not only this episode, but the whole season of Rings of Power. Are you going to give the second season a shot? Or are you kind of in the fence and you're like, look, you had your chance with me, I'm out of here. So we always look forward to your comments. For the Appleton Oak, I'm Mason Quinn. This has been Bad Medicine. Guys, we got more content coming your way. Stay tuned.